الأساتذة الكرام، زملائي الأعزاء في جامعة قطر وفي سفارة الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية في قطر والحضور الكريم عبر منصة ويبكس، مرحبا بكم. معكم نتالي يونان، مدير مشاريع البحوث في مكتب نائب رئيس جامعة قطر للبحث والدراسات العليا، ويسعدني ويشرفني أن أدير هذه الجلسة التعريفية حول التعاون البحثي والدراسات العليا وبرامج التبادل الأكاديمي في أمريكا. تسعى جامعة قطر دائما إلى توطيد وتعزيز العلاقات مع المؤسسات البحثية والتعليمية المحلية والعالمية من خلال تطوير المنح والتمويل والتسويق والشراكات الداخلية والخارجية وغير ذلك من الممارسات التي تدعم مساهمة ودور الكليات والمراكز البحثية وأعضاء هيئة التدريس والباحثين. كما وتدعم جامعة قطر طلبة الدراسات العليا وتوفر لهم الفرص داخل الدولة وخارجها من أجل ضمان شروط تخرجهم ككوادر ناجحة وقائدة في سوق العمل. تأتي هذه الجلسة اليوم ثمرة تعاون بين جامعة قطر وسفارة الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية في قطر، وسيتم من خلالها عرض مختلف الوسائل المتاحة في جامعة قطر للتعاون في مجال البحث والدراسات العليا مع الجامعات والمؤسسات الأمريكية، بالإضافة إلى عدة فقرات تسلط الضوء على برامج التبادل الأكاديمي والخدمات المختلفة التي تقدمها السفارة الأمريكية في قطر. لغة الجلسة هي اللغة الإنجليزية، وسيكون هناك فقرة مخصصة للإجابة على كافة أسئلتكم في نهاية الجلسة. Qatar University Vice Presidents, my esteemed colleagues at Qatar University and at the US Embassy in Qatar, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Natalie Younan, the Research Project Manager at the VP Office for Research and Graduate Studies at Qatar University. It is my pleasure to host this information session on the US exchange programs, higher education opportunities, and research collaboration in partnership with the US Embassy in Qatar. I would like to begin this session with a brief overview on the research collaboration between QU and American institutions. Allow me to share my screen. In this presentation, I will be displaying different tracks of collaboration. Let me just 1 second. Okay. So in this presentation, I will be displaying the different tracks of collaboration existing between QU and the US institutions, starting with the joint research grants and projects, mainly within the International Research Collaboration Co-Funding Program, the IRCC, and the National Priorities Research Program, NPRP, funded by the Qatar National Research Fund. For more information, please, you can visit Qatar University Office for Research Support blog. The research output extracted from SciVal will be also showcased in addition to collaboration with US universities under the QU scholarship umbrella, events, and other activities. The IRCC call has one submission cycle per year, as you can see in this slide, with a maximum allocated funding per university of $80,000 per year, which is equivalent to $160,000 over 2 years. It has 2 tracks, which are track 1, which is a call for project, and track 2, which is institutional on the fly and based on strategic collaborations. Please, for more information, visit the IRCC website to get more details on the submission, eligibility, and timeline. Within the IRCC co-funded projects, in its second cycle, and from the 12 awarded projects with 10 different countries, 3 were in collaboration with American universities, as you can see in this table. Texas A&M University, Mount Sinai, Icahn, and School of Medicine in the USA. However, in the co-funded projects for IRCC cycle 4 and 5, only 1 project with American University were funded, as you can see here in this slide, with Texas A&M University. The main track for research collaboration with US universities is within the Qatar National Research Fund, QNRF, and mainly the National Priorities Research Program, NPRP. In addition, of course, to the other grants such as the URIP, the Undergraduate Research Experience Program, PEDRA, Postdoctoral Research Award, GESRA, Graduate Sponsorship Research Award, and the different other awards. All the details can be found on the Research Support Office website of Qatar University. Currently, there are 105 active QNRF projects with US institutions. 95% of those projects are NPRP, whereas only 2% goes to PPM, which is the Path Towards Personalized Medicine, and MME, it's a call with the Ministry of Municipality and Environment, and only 1% goes to OSRA award. In addition, there are 341 completed projects, all of them being NPRPs, and 2 OSRA projects currently under review. Here in this slide, we showcase an example of NPRP projects in collaboration with 2 US universities that are highly recognized in polymer and material sciences, which are University of Houston and the University of Southern Mississippi, in partnership with 3 big Qatari and US companies, Capco, ConocoPhillips, and PAL Corporation. In the second part of the presentation, the collaborative research output in terms of publications and collaborating institutions will be showcased. All this data is extracted from SciVal for the range of years from 2016 to 2021. Here we can see the collaboration map of QU with 542 collaborating institutions distributed all around the United States, leading to a total of 2,544 co-authored publications. The top 10 American collaborating institutions are shown in this table, Texas A&M University being the first with the highest number of co-authored publications, 289, Cornell University being the second, and Temple University the third. As for the top 10 areas of publications, engineering came in first with almost 800 co-authored publications, medicine second, and computer science third. As you can see here, the number of publications per year is showing an increase starting with 379 in 2016 and reaching 521 in 2021. Publications have different types, but the main contribution remains the articles in journals. Another track of collaboration is under QU Scholarship umbrella, where 36 QU students are currently studying at American universities. 50% of those students are pursuing their master's degree, 44% their PhD, and 6% studying languages. In addition to 19 graduated students with a percentage of 74% graduated with a PhD degree and 26% with a master's degree from US universities. Now, the following 2 slides will display the current 36 QU students along with the start date and the end date and their corresponding university and degree. QU collaborates with several US universities and companies in co-organizing events, sponsoring events. An example is ConocoPhillips, who was the sponsor of the National 3MT competition, which was organized by Qatar University in October 2021. And we can see here in the photo, the president, Mr. Todd Krieger of ConocoPhillips, giving the awards to the winners. And also we have collaboration as the speakers' participation, having renowned American experts speaking at QU events and also vice versa. QU also collaborated with Texas A&M University and the University of Alabama in the UNESCO Chair in Marine Sciences at the Environmental Science Center at QU. There are currently 11 active MOUs and agreements with US institutions. Moreover, QU Press is part of the Association University Presses based in Washington, D.C., and of the UN SDG Publishers Compact based in New York. Last but not least, through the Fulbright programs, which will be detailed by my colleagues at the US Embassy. At QU, we look forward for more collaboration with the US Embassy and especially through the Fulbright programs. I also wish to highlight that QU will be launching soon an initiative for hosting Nobel Prize and Fields Medal winners in collaboration with embassies of different countries. And we would be honored to collaborate with the US Embassy on this initiative. Finally, this is an example of a selected event where we had a keynote speech given by a US expert from the US Department of Energy at the QU Annual Research Forum and Exhibition 2019. Thank you all for your attention. Now I would like to introduce Mr. Mohammed Trad, the cultural specialist at the US Embassy in Qatar, who will present the Fulbright programs offered by the embassy. Please, Mr. Mohammed, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this information session today with our great partner, Qatar University. We've been working with Qatar University for years now, and we are glad to continue working with you guys. So as Natalie introduced me, I'm the cultural affairs specialist. First of all, do you hear me well? The sound is okay?
Yes, Mohammed.
Good. So I am the cultural specialist at the US Embassy, and I'm in charge of the Fulbright program here in Qatar and other academic and professional program. So I'm gonna present you the Fulbright program today that is available in Qatar. And I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so the Fulbright program I will be presenting today. So a quick overview of the program. So the program is a US government flagship international educational and cultural exchange program. It awards merit-based grants to accomplished students, scholars, teachers, artists, and professionals of all backgrounds and fields. The Fulbright program offers the opportunity not only to teach, but also to study or to teach and study or conduct research and exchange ideas and conduct professional projects. There is a wide range of possibilities through the Fulbright program. So this is maybe something new to some of the attendees today. It's not only about research and projects. It can be studied, it can be anything, but of course, not all the programs are available everywhere. It depends on the host country. And I'm gonna talk about the programs that we have here in Qatar. So we're talking about 8,000 grants. 8,000 grants every year by the Fulbright program in more than 160 countries, including Qatar. Of course, it's a network of 400,000 people from all backgrounds, and among them we have many Nobel Prize laureate. Last year, we celebrated the 75th anniversary of the Fulbright program. It was established in 1946, and we're talking about 75 years of action, insight, and opportunities. And hopefully, we're going to continue working with this beautiful program. Today, I'm going to tell you about the Fulbright US Scholar program and the Fulbright Specialist program. Let's start with the first one, the Fulbright US Scholars program. So This program offers the opportunity to Qatari educational institutions to host U.S. faculty members, professors, and experienced professionals to teach, research, and conduct professional projects and do both teaching and researching in Qatari institutions. It's funded by the U.S. Department of State, and it's aligned with the academic calendar year, and it can range from 2 months to 1 academic year. The second program is the Fulbright Specialist Program. This program pairs highly qualified U.S. academics and professionals with host institutions abroad to share their expertise and strengthen institutional linkages. As you can see in this photo, we have a team from Qatar National Library with American expert Jennifer, who came here in November and spent 6 weeks with Qatar National Library to work on a specific project and training the staff. This program is open for American specialists who are experts in their fields, and they represent a wide range of professional and academic disciplines. It offers a year-round project. It's not really controlled or limited to the academic calendar, and it offers the opportunities of 2 to 6 weeks in terms of length. So it's a short-term project. It's different from the U.S. Scholar program, and the specialist comes to the host country or the host institution to do real work, whether like working on strategy or training the staff. It's not about research, it's not about teaching. So that's the difference between these two programs. The institutions who can be eligible for the specialist program, it include but not limited to institutions of higher education, like Qatar University, and we will have a Fulbright specialist coming, inshallah, next month to work with the Center for Law and Development at Qatar University. So this is a great example of a higher education institution benefiting from the specialist program. It can be government institutions, ministries, other institutions, cultural institutions like museums, national libraries, as you have seen in the previous slide. It can be NGOs, non-partisan think tanks, or even medical institutions like hospitals or medical teaching institutions. The activities are, again, include but not limited to delivering seminars, trainings, or workshops for the staff, consulting and faculty or workforce development, developing academic or training curricula and materials, lecturing at the graduate or undergraduate level. Lecturing, it's not teaching, so you know what I'm talking about. Engaging in the strategic or institutional planning, conducting needs evaluation for the program, like for a program or the institution, like strategic planning for the future. The benefits of this program are like gaining global perspective. The institution will gain a global perspective about the field that it's working on from experienced academics and professionals. They can execute projects that require a rapid response or flexible timeline. They will build sustained relationship with individuals, these experts, and their home institutions, because these experts, they are not, most of them, they belong to American institutions, so it's an opportunity to build relationship and connections with these institutions through this program and with the help of the expert, the specialist. The program cost is a bit different from the Scholar program because it's cost share based program. So the host institution, they should be prepared to provide the specialists with lodging, meals, and in-country transportation throughout their full stay in the country, whether it's 2 weeks, 1 week, or 6 weeks. In the other side, the U.S. Department will cover the cost of the international airfare, the travel for the specialist to come and to return to the US, and the specialist honorarium and other like incidental expenses and the health insurance. And I can tell you that this part is more than 70% or 80% of the cost of the program. One program I didn't include in my presentation because it's been on hold during the previous years for Qatar, which is the Fulbright Visiting Scholar Program. This program is for Qatari scholars to go to the US. It's been on hold. It has its process for application and requirements and everything. I didn't include this in my presentation today because now it's not available for Qatari scholars and academics, but inshallah, when it becomes available in the future, I will be happy to join you again for an online or an in-person information session. And I will be happy to share with you how to apply and the different benefits of the program, and come visit you at Qatar University, and also share with you like tips and advices on how to apply. So stay tuned for this. I am in an open discussion and talk with Qatar University, with our counterparts at Qatar University, Natalie and her team. And once this program is reactivated, I will reach out to you and I can do a presentation for it. Thank you. This is it for this presentation of today. It's very brief. It's just to give you an idea about the two programs that we are running here. As I already said, we will have a Fulbright specialist coming next month to work with the Center for Law and Development on a specific project during 6 weeks. And we already have a wonderful US scholar. I'm happy to have him with us today, Dr. Qasim Al-Shboul. He is a scholar and a scientist, expert in biostatistics. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Qasim, when you get the mic. So he is today with us. He joined us today to share his experience with the Fulbright program, and I'm happy to have him with us today. Dr. Qasim, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Qasim. Please, the mic.
Good morning, and thank you all. Yes, you are right. I'm Associate Professor of Biostatistics. I graduated from the Graduate School of Public Health from University of Pittsburgh. And I would like first to thank Fulbright, the Fulbright US program, and Qatar University for giving me the opportunity to conduct my research in Qatar. Let me talk about my experience. Just like since I arrived in August 15, my main objective was to collaborate with researchers at Qatar University. It took me like about 1 month to manage to collaborate with the researchers. And finally, I now collaborating with 4 researchers from the College of Health Sciences, the Department of Public Health. And my research is it's a comprehensive study of Qatari women's views about menopause in terms of knowledge, attitude, quality of life, perception, and experience. Just last week, we got the approval, the ethical approval from the PHCC IRB, from the Ministry of Health, and we're going to start collecting the data. It's really unique experience. In addition, also to conducting my research, also I'm teaching a course in the math and the stat department in statistics. I can talk a lot about the benefits for both the Fulbrighter and the host institution, and also the institution where I'm coming from. I'm coming from the Bowling Green State University, Ohio. Benefits, the main benefits going to be to the community, especially when you are conducting applied research, as I'm doing right now. The results of this research will will be published in at least 4 to 5 papers. We are expecting 4 papers, 5 papers, and the results definitely will provide the health policy in the Ministry of Health to provide, to create a health policy regarding menopause, which does not exist right now. I did conduct almost similar projects in Bahrain and in United Arab Emirates. And in United Arab Emirates, we succeeded to have an open day for menopausal women to make the public, knowledgeable about this phenomenon. Also, the benefit also of the project and being here also to share my experience in teaching and in research with my colleagues at Qatar University. Definitely, the university will benefit from that. The community will benefit from that. The faculty members will benefit from that when they publish papers. The university will increase its citations and so on. I really encourage all faculty members to apply, to have this opportunity so that they explore different research environments. I'm telling you, the research environments in different countries have different things, and also to build up a network of researchers across the world. Finally, I would like to, from my experience right now, I would like to urge both Qatar University and Fulbright to consider funding like applied research, which requires like collecting data from the population or from the community, because that we need a large budget for that, to cover both the expense, the data collectors and recruiting the subjects. I thank God that we successfully managed, to conduct this research by recruiting volunteers from the Ministry of Health, and we have also one collaboration with the Ministry of Health as a researcher too. Thank you so much. I'm really happy with this experience, and if I have the opportunity after 2 years, I will apply again for sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Qasim, for this inspirational testimony, and welcome to Qatar University. Before moving on, I would just like to mention that we started to receive your questions. So please write your questions in the Q&A chat box, and we will be answering all of these questions at the end of the session. So moving on to our next session on the education advising services, I invite Ms. Asil Al-Ugaili, the cultural specialist at the U.S. Embassy in Qatar, to give us more details on this type of services provided by the embassy. Please, Asil, the mic is all yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Natalie. Thanks, Qatar University team. I just want to make sure if my slides are shared. Do you see them? No?
No, we see you.
Okay, yeah, I know you see me. Let me try, sorry, let me try again. Okay, hopefully now.
Yes, great. Perfect.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for joining us. I'm Asil Al-Ugaili. I'm cultural specialist, and I'm a member of the Education USA team. I work with 2 of our team members, with Hanadi, Paula, as well as with Melissa. We provide services. These services are for free. Any student who is interested in studying in the US, they can reach out to us. We will help them with any information that they need. And today we will focus on graduate studies, although I've seen a question about undergraduate. Inshallah, we will address it in the Q&A portion. So with regard to graduate studies, so I'm going to talk briefly about graduate study students and graduate studies. So as you all know, anyone who is interested in continuing his or her studies after the bachelor's degree, these are considered graduate students, and there are more than 1,000 colleges and universities in the US which offer graduate degree programs. And as you all know, it's either master's degree or doctoral degree. With regard to master's degree, in general, this provides these degrees, they provide education training in specialized branch or field. It can be academic, just like Master of Arts, Master of Science, or it can be professional, just like Master of Business Administration, or Fine Arts, or Social Work, or Education. Programs may differ, and they are different, of course, and the costs are different, but programs offer a thesis or non-thesis option. The study, the master program or master degree, students need to study for 2 to 3 years. This is as an additional study beyond the bachelor's degree. With regard to doctoral degree, this prepares students for college faculty and research scholar positions or for other careers. With doctoral degree, it takes from 5 to 7 years, and it takes from 5 to 7 years, and it mainly prepares students for college faculty, research positions, also for other careers in order to that involve knowledge or research skills. It can be also, just like the master's, can be academic, or just like Doctor of Philosophy, or professional, just like Doctor of Education, Doctor of Business Administration. And this type of degree, this study, requires the candidate to pass a comprehensive examination and complete original research leading to finalizing a dissertation. So these are the general ones. We are going to talk briefly about the 5 steps to study in the US. You know, it is a process that takes time. The first step in this process is researching the options. So anyone who's interested in studying in the US, they have to go through the process and search for the university that fits them, personally, academically, rather than looking for the systems and the names and so on. So they have to understand what are their goals, what are their priorities, and they need to match the school with their priorities and goals rather than have the university, they match the university. So it should be vice versa. Instead of the student matching university, no, they should have the university that matches what they need. Also, the cost of living and studying in the US varies across the United States. If students plan well and do their own research and do what is required, so it will help them in their financial planning, and they can find affordable options. Students need to start their financial planning as early as possible. And each year, international students, they receive significant amounts of financial assistance. So this leads us to the second step, which is financing your studies. You need to make sure that you have the funding that is needed. And when we talk about the funding or the finance, we are not just talking about the fees that are paid for the university. We are talking about the cost of living as well. Lots of students, they just think of the fees that are paid for the university, and they don't think of the other costs. So you have to think of it as a holistic thing, and all the costs that are required in order to finish your study and living in the US. When we talk about third step, we talk about finishing and completing your application. With regard to application, students are required to search well in the website of the university and try to understand what's required. Mainly, the requirements are the recommendation letters, and for graduate studies, they require CV, and they require personal statement, and maybe a piece of writing or portfolio, depends on the type of major that you are applying for. And also, you need to check all the requirements on our Facebook page that we are going to share the link to. There are lots of sessions, and in fact, last night, we had a session on graduate studies for journalists and media practitioners. You can check it. Also, in October, we had a session, comprehensive type of overview for graduate studies in the US. So check these, please. This will help you a lot. For the applying for the student visa, so we'll have Joanna here. She will talk briefly about the student visa after I'm done with my part, and you will get to know what's required, but you need to plan ahead of time. Also, there is another step, which is pre-departure orientation. This prepares you for your life, for your study in the US, and what you expect, and you get prepared for taking care of your academic study as well as the housing and whatever is needed. Yes, if you are interested in getting to know more information or you need more guidance, you can reach out to us. The link that you see on the screen allows you to have an appointment with us. It can be one-on-one advising session, and it can be group session, advising session. Also, our email is on the screen, doha@educationusa.org. You can reach out to us. And we are sharing the social media links. So we have Instagram and we have Facebook. We have lots of announcements and lots of sessions on our Facebook page. Please follow us in order to understand the studying in the US system. So thank you so much. And I welcome any questions.
Thank you so much, Ms. Asil, for this informative session and for sharing all the contact with our audience. Moving on to our last presentation for today, I welcome Ms. Joanna Chen, yes, to talk more about the student visa presentation. Please, Ms. Joanna, the floor is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Joanna, and I work in the consular section at the American Embassy. So the embassy handles all different types of visas to the United States, right? And that includes tourist visas, work-related visas, and also student visas. So there's a couple of different steps in the student visa application process. So once you get accepted to a school and they send you the proper paperwork, the first step is scheduling a student visa appointment. So for you to obtain the student visa, first you need to come in for an in-person interview. So you can go on our website at ustraveldocs.com/QA. Right now, the U.S. Embassy is open for all non-immigrant visa categories, and that includes student visas, and we prioritize student visa appointments. So make sure to make your appointment as soon as you can. And then if your start date is very soon, you can always expedite your student visa appointment also, because we really do prioritize and make sure that students are able to travel to the US and start on time. So a common question we get is, what documents do I need to bring to the interview? So there are a couple of different things that you do need to bring. First is your I-20. So the I-20 you'll obtain from the university. It's a document with different information about your program, but it also includes the start date of your program. Before you come in for your interview, you also need to pay the SEVIS fee. So once you pay that, make sure to bring the receipt for that. And then you also need to bring proof of how you'll fund your first year of your education. So just in terms of, another common question is, why do I need to bring the proof of funding for my school program? So when students go to the US, they need to demonstrate the ability to pay for tuition and living expenses. So this can include bank statements from your parents or from whoever is sponsoring you, any type of financial aid or scholarships. And these documents are used for reference only during the interview. We don't keep them for our records at all. So we just need these documents temporarily for the interview. And we just have a conversation about your program and how you're going to be able to fund it. So another common question we get is, when can I apply? So you look at your I-20 that you have, you look at the official start date, and then you count back 120 days, right? So that's as soon as you can apply for your program. Make sure that when you do your visa application, all the information is accurate. And when you submit your passport photo, it has to be a recent photo, right? So it has to be less than 6 months old, and it has to be taken against a white background. Once you come in for the interview, and let's say you are approved for the visa, you can enter the US 30 days before the start of your program. So always make sure when you get your I-20, you look at the start date, you count back 120 days, that's when you can start applying for your visa. You look at the start date, you count back 30 days, that's when you can actually enter the US. So if you have any questions or you want more information, feel free to go on our website. We have the most up-to-date information on student visas and other types of visas that we have.
Thank you so much, Ms. Joanna. So now we reach the Q&A session. I'm going to start with the questions in the chat box and in the Q&A box. We have a question for our colleagues at the US Embassy. Is there any exchange program for non-Qatari students or programs for US citizens abroad?
Sorry, sorry, can you say it again? But are we still sharing our screen?
Yes, it's still there.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just trying to stop it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So, do you have any exchange programs for non-Qatari students or any programs for US citizens abroad?
So Muhammad, would you like to answer this?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Asil. Thank you, Natalie. Yeah, it's a combination of questions because we're talking about two things. Non-Qatari. Are we talking about non-Qataris who are resident in Qatar or non-Qataris abroad? Okay. In both cases, for non-Qataris, we have an American embassy
Yeah.
all around the world, and all our programs are available in those countries. So if you are like from Morocco, you're gonna reach out to the U.S. Embassy in Morocco. If you are in Egypt, you reach out to the U.S. Embassy in Egypt, and you will have access to the programs for Egyptian. You will have access for programs for Moroccan. This is how it works with the State Department and with the American government. Now for programs, exchange programs for U.S. citizens, the two programs that I talked about in my presentation, the U.S. Scholar Program and the U.S. Specialist Program, the Fulbright, are for American citizens. So we already have these two programs. We might have other programs that are offered in the U.S. by American institutions or American government entities. They might be available in the US for Americans there to apply for. But if they are coming to Qatar through an exchange program, it can be either like the Fulbright Specialist or the Fulbright US Scholar. This is for now, but we are always having like new programs opening up, other programs like ANS, stuff like that. But today we're talking about what we have today. This is to answer the question.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Are there any opportunities for undergraduate students?
Yes, so if I may take this question. So our services are for free for any student living here in Qatar. We are not associated as Education USA Qatar team. We are not associated with any university or college in the US. We are not promoting specific institution. We just and we don't provide financial aid or scholarships, but we guide students. We advise them throughout the steps, and we guide them about the approved universities, because there are some fake websites that promote certain universities in the US that are not, they don't exist at all. We got lots of those questions, and we really encourage students to reach out to us just to check on these. Also, we encourage Qatari students specifically to apply just for those universities that are approved on the approved list by the Ministry of Education and Higher Education. Otherwise, their degree wouldn't be recognized. Anyone who is interested in getting more information about studying in the US, university, student life, we really encourage them to have a look at our social media platforms. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have lots of sessions that we did with representatives of US universities to talk about all the components for studying in the US. Also, we hosted chat sessions with alumni and students to talk about student life and challenges and lessons learned and success stories.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Asil. Another question. Could you please let us know about the application process? About the application submission deadline for 2022 for Fulbright Specialist Program.
Okay, so for Fulbright Specialist Program, it's open until the fall, until, let's say, we have because we have more than one deadline, but it's open throughout the year. So institutions, what I can say that institution can reach out to us. They can contact me. You have my contact information, Natalie, and I can share my contact information later by the end of this session. Also, if they contact any of my colleagues at the US Embassy, my colleagues will come to me and let me know about this. and I will reach out to you and your institution, and we can work on a specific project, and then we can submit. Indeed, institutions, they have the possibility to submit their proposal online. There is a website where they can.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, there is a website where they can go submit their proposals, but we don't want institutions to submit their proposals without discussing this with us, because the process might be like challenging with the details, etc., on the system. So the best way is to reach out to us, to me, to my team, and then we can discuss about the project, and then we can submit a proposal to the Fulbright Commission. They will study the proposal and then approve it, and then they will send us recommendations for the specialist, and then we will pick one of these selected specialists, and then we finalize the process, and the specialist comes to Qatar. This is how it works. So I'm happy to receive your proposals and talk about them anytime throughout the year. But the deadline is by September this year. To answer like the question about the deadline, it's by September this year, but the program is open every year. So if we don't do it this year, we will do it next year or the year after. And this is how it works.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Another question, is there any student exchange program, master and PhD, between Qatar University and the USA universities? So I think this is addressed to Qatar University. As I show in my presentation, we have the QU scholarship. Many students are studying abroad in the USA, are currently studying, and many of them are already graduated. Also, we have some US students coming to Qatar University in the GA, also the Graduate Assistantship Program, and also as part of studying and at Qatar University. I'm not quite sure about the PhD for now. We are still opening many grants for the PhD students, but more information will be shared later on. So please just contact me on my email, and I will collect more information about these master and PhD programs for exchange students.
Excuse me, Natalie, just to interact quickly with this question. So in my presentation, or on my presentation, I talked about connection, how the Fulbright program promotes and help building connections between American institutions and Qatari institutions.
Okay.
American universities and Qatari universities. And through these connections and like friendship and ties between the institution, the scholars or people who are interested to go to the US and Americans who are interested to come to Qatar to have an experience in Qatar, they can use these connections to reach out to each other's institutions and seek information. So this is why it's important. These exchange programs are important. It's beyond having the program itself. It's more than that. It's building long-term connections between the institutions, and this can be helpful to the scholars and the students in the future. So, for example, a real example, we have Dr. Qasim now with Qatar University. He is here. He's working on a specific project. So, for example, if a scholar or a student is interested on biostatistics or something related to that field, they can reach to Dr. Qasim and ask him about specific things in his home institution back in the US, stuff like this. So my advice, don't only depend on the US Embassy or the Qatar University. Work your connections. Try to reach out to the resources that we are making available here. And because opportunities and possibilities are not limited.
Yes.
Yeah. And sorry, Natalie, just very quick. I'd like to share that we always share on our Facebook page, Education USA Qatar. We always share opportunities for scholarships, but these are, of course, competitive, but they are open to all students. So keep an eye on our Facebook page. There are lots of announcements on scholarship opportunities in the United States. Also,
Yes.
we always invite students and make announcements about education fairs. We really encourage students and scholars to attend those fairs because it gives them the opportunity to talk directly to the representatives of US institutions, universities and colleges. They get to know them more and get to know the opportunities that they have.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ms. Asil. They are asking also to share our presentation with them. So we will be sharing ours at the Research Office Support blog. I gave you the website earlier in my presentation. And also I would appreciate Mr. Muhammad and Ms. Asil if you could send me your PowerPoint so we could share them also on our website.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I will add one more slide to my presentation where I can put contact informations, and that way people can reach out to us when they visit the presentation.
Great.
Yes. Okay, another question. What about international collaboration with the funding agencies in the USA, such as NSF, DOE, and DOD? Is there any potential international...
Sorry, sorry, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but like, do you ever have any question about visa? Because Joanna needs to go. She has, she has commitments.
About
Just
visa?
question about visa? Sorry, because...
Yes, there is a second question on family visa. In case I have right to study at the USA, can I have visa for my wife and daughter as well?
Yeah, this is a very common question.
Yeah, no, that's that's a great question. So we do have another visa category where dependents, so spouses and children, can accompany the student, the primary student, to the US. So that's also an option.
Okay, great. So I'm just looking for a visa. I think, yeah, that's it maybe for the visa.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, just want to say thank you to Joanna because she has
so much.
other commitments. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much,
Appreciate
Asil.
it.
Thank you, Joan. Have a nice day.
We have Qataris waiting for their interviews. We don't want to make them waiting, so Joanna has to go.
Okay. So I was in this question, what about international collaboration with funding agencies in the USA, such as NSF, DOE, and DOD? Is there any potential international cooperation between QNRF with these funding agencies? To be honest, I'm not quite familiar with these agencies. Usually at Qatar University, the funding that we have are either internal funding and external from QNRF. I wish our research support office was here with us. I don't know, but maybe he's a panelist. He cannot participate to answer this question, but definitely I could get you the answer for this. But I'm not quite familiar with these agencies. Okay, moving on. أشكركم. أتمنى أن يكون هناك دراسة لغة إنجليزية للدكاترة القطريين في التخصصات العربية في أمريكا حتى يكون هناك تعاون مستمر، واللغة كما تعلمون مهمة جدا خصوصا لمن هم قد أنهوا الدكتوراه. Okay, I don't know if there is a question here. هل هناك دراسة للغة الإنجليزية للدكاترة القطريين؟ Maybe this is the question.
دراسة إنجليزية يعني في الولايات المتحدة؟
Yes, yes.
I think لا أعتقد يعني هناك إجابة يعني إجابة واحدة لهذا السؤال، لأنه أكيد هناك possibility، هناك إمكانيات لدراسة العربية في الولايات المتحدة، لكن أنا شخصيا ليس عندي فكرة هل لدينا برنامج خاص بهذه النقطة أو لا. فأسيل لو عندك فكرة.
In fact, Mike would like to answer this question, but I think, can you unmute him, Kareem, or anyone in the IT? Our supervisor, Michael Pointer. And while this is, hopefully you can do it, like students who are not fluent in English, they can join program which is called ESL Pathway programs. These are intensive English language courses that they can join so that they prepare them to be ready to take the courses, academic courses, I mean. So there are lots of schools, lots of universities that offer these types of courses. They can join them. But as far as I know, there are some universities, of course, they study Arabic language, but honestly, not sure if there are universities that offer. I've never heard that they offer courses in Arabic.
Okay.
So, is it possible to unmute Mike?
Kareem, is it possible to unmute Mr. Mike?
Yes. Mr. Mike unmuted now. He can talk.
Okay, great. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Hi there. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Michael Pointer. I am a public diplomacy officer at the embassy. Thank you to my colleagues on our team for all of this great outreach with Qatar University. And Qatar University, thanks so much for giving us a platform. And then thank you to everybody who has joined today. On the question about NSF and DOE, if you see that you're getting specific interest about specific programs, if you could also just raise that with us, send a note to Asil and or Mohammed so that we can speak with our colleagues who cover the environment, science, technology, and health portfolio at the embassy. We'd be happy to follow up to see where the possibilities might be, because I have I'm curious if perhaps the person who asked the question might have seen specific grants or research opportunities and has specific question on those. So we're happy to follow up to support you're digging into that question. Just let us know if there were specific opportunities that these individuals were looking at. And then another point I did want to follow up on is the visa issue. We've heard quite a bit throughout the time that I've been here. I've been in Doha about a year and a half. A lot of people assume that the visa process is really difficult and that everybody gets denied. And we really encourage people to really seek information from the official sources, from our website and from the State Department's website in Washington, to have a very clear understanding about what the process is and how it works, and just to make sure to get the most official information possible, because the U.S. places a heavy priority on ensuring that students are able to get to their appointments to be able to be interviewed. It is, of course, up to the consular officer to do the checks at the window to make sure the person is or is not qualified for the visa. Before getting to that point, just making sure to use the official resources so that the process goes as smoothly as possible is really important. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to take the floor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mike. Okay, I can move on to another question. I'm kind of lost with all of these questions. How do I access the program for media and journalists, which you mentioned earlier?
Thank you, Natalie. I already shared the link to the session. When you go to Education USA Qatar, and I'm trying to send it, I don't know why I can't send. I think it's disabled. So if you search for Education USA Qatar Facebook page, you will find it. And there are lots of sessions. One of them is the session on graduate studies in journalism and media communication. And there are some other different sessions on almost every field and everything related to studying in the US.
Okay, and also they are asking to sharing again the email addresses. So maybe at the end of the session, Asil, you could share your screen with all the contact for the embassy.
Yeah, in fact, I'm trying to share. I don't know why I can't do it. I think I'll share it in the chat instead of the questions. Yes. So I'm sharing all. So I shared the email. I shared the Facebook page as well.
Yeah, we need Karim. We need Karim to reactivate the sharing slide, the sharing screen option, maybe, because it's deactivated for me too. Anyways, yeah, we can move on. Yeah, just to add to what Asil said, when you go to the Facebook page, go to the video section of the Facebook page, and you will find all our previous videos where you can, the Education USA, I mean, videos where you can find the sessions and all the content. It's very informative, very rich in information, and you can probably have all the answers to all your questions, right, Asil?
Yes, sure. Just feel free to reach out to us, and we have lots of sessions, lots of information that we can share with you. We welcome all types of questions that you have, and we are here to help you. Our services are for free, and they are available for anyone.
Thank you, Asil. Under Fulbright Specialist Program, can we invite only university professor or any technical expert? Please advise. So maybe Mr. Mohammed, under the Fulbright Specialist Program, is it possible to invite technical expert or only university professor?
Oh yeah, I didn't hear it at the beginning. Yeah, it's for all. It's for professionals from all fields, literally all fields. So we can bring an American expert from any field. It doesn't have to be an academic. It can be even artist or a journalist. Or you see, it's all fields of professional.
Okay, perfect. So we have a Syrian a student at Qatar University, and he's asking if he can register as well. And he's very interested in studying in the US.
Studying, like he's looking for exchange program or studying in the US?
I think, yeah, maybe he said studying, but maybe he's looking for an exchange opportunity.
I think for exchange opportunity, they need to look at the US Embassy, Dimashq, the US Embassy in Dimashq, or other resources. Maybe Asil is aware of these resources because what we know is about Qatar, you know, but sometimes we have some information and we are happy to share. So Asil, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. As I mentioned, we are open and we are available here to help any student who is willing to study in the US if they are located in Qatar. If they are located outside of Qatar and they need help, just go to our website, which is Education USA, educationusa.state.gov. And in that website, you can look for the advising center there in that country. There is an advising center for Syria. We have our friend and our colleague Ahmed. Just look for the country and you will have the center information, and you can email them or go to visit their social media platforms and get to know more information.
Okay, thank you, Asil. And also related to the earlier question on the American agencies, NSF and DOE, also I would like to add to what Mr. Mike Pointer said, and a big thank you to our Director of Research Support Office, Dr. Abdul Aziz. He's saying that it's a request of having joint programs between QNRF and the US agencies, like the one we have in Qatar University with Turkey, TÜBİTAK, and with Morocco, CNRST, and it would be a great opportunity, and we're happy to discuss it furthermore with you, with the US Embassy. So thank you, Dr. Abdul Aziz. So I think we reached the last question. It was the last question here. So no more questions. I don't know if I missed something. But yeah, I think this is it. So Asil, would you like to share your screen? Is it possible, or we move on? It's not. You're muted, Asil, please.
Sorry, I already shared our contact information in the chat. So anyone who is willing to email us, I shared our email, doha@educationusa.org is in the chat. So you can copy paste. I also shared the link to our Facebook page. And inshallah, Qatar University team will share with you our slides so you can, once you look at our slides,
Yes.
let me try to have them again. Yeah, while we are talking, and share them with you.
So at the end of this really enriching session, I just want to emphasize again that at Qatar University, we are really looking forward for more and more collaboration with the US institutions and also throughout the US Embassy in Qatar, and especially within the Fulbright programs. A big thank you for my colleagues at the US Embassy in Qatar. And thank you all for joining us today at this information session. Okay, I'm going to switch to Arabic now. So بهذا نكون قد وصلنا إلى ختام هذه الجلسة التعريفية حول التعاون البحثي والدراسات العليا وبرامج التبادل الأكاديمي في أمريكا. نود التقدم بالشكر الجزيل للزملاء الأعزاء في سواء سفارة الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية في قطر، وشكرا لكم جميعا على حضوركم، ونتطلع إلى لقائكم في فعاليات وأنشطة أخرى بإذن الله. إلى اللقاء.
Excuse me, Natalie?
Yes.
Sorry, Natalie? Yeah,
Yes.
I would like to share my screen so I can share the two emails or maybe put them in the chat.
Yes,
so
please. And also we can see the screen of Asil.
Yeah, if you allow me to share my screen, Kareem.
So I need to stop mine, I think, so that you
Yes.
can, yeah, you can do.
All right. Yeah, it's quickly two email. Do you see them here?
Perfect.
Yeah, so Qatar exchange at state.gov. This is about request for all exchange programs. I want to ask you, please be very specific in the subject line of this email, because this email is managed by more than one person. So be very specific in the subject line. Put, like, if you are asking about Fulbright, make sure that you are putting Fulbright in the subject line. If you are asking about studying in general in the US, be specific in the subject line. The other email is my personal email, like my work email. Feel free to reach out to me about anything that we talked about today. And I want to finish by thanking you, Natalie, and thank you to the Qatar University for giving us this opportunity to to talk about our programs and the services that we are providing here for Qatar, and we are happy for this collaboration, and we look forward for more information sessions and more connections with the Qatar University and any other institution here in Qatar.
Thank you. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Asil.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Natalia, and thanks everyone. Thanks for everyone who joined us. Thanks to everyone who helped with the IT issues. Thanks to all the team at Qatar University. Yeah.
And Dr. Qasim, thank you very much for being with us today. And
Thank
please,
you so much.
yeah, Dr. Qasim is a wonderful person. He likes to connect with people and see you and meet you at Qatar University. He is staying at the campus housing. So yeah, feel free to reach out to him. I already like having talks with him. It's very fruitful. He's very experienced in his field, but also in life. So seize the opportunity, reach out to our scholars, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Thank you. Thank you.
And مع السلامة. Have a nice weekend, everybody.
Salam.